to Art and Company, and we are going to start something actually we started last week. Do you remember what the name of the artist is that we started learning a little bit about last week? What's his name?
Piet Mondrian.
Piet
Mondrian.
Close. A lot of people say his name Piet, but I say Piet. It's actually Piet. It's kind of like a little roll of the tongue. Piet Mondrian. Say Piet Mondrian. And you can say Piet like a little bird if you want to. Piet Mondrian. He was a Dutch abstract artist. He was born in 1872 and he died in 1944. Now, we talked a little bit last week about the type of artwork that he did. Okay, it was a whole week ago. How much do you guys remember? We'll test it and see how much you remember. Okay, so what kind of an artist was he?
Abstract.
What kind?
Abstract.
Abstract, very good. He was an abstract artist, okay? Now, he also had his own name for his type of artwork that he created. Do you remember what that word was? There's two words, and it's really long, and it's hard to say. You guys remember that type of artwork? Haley's smiling really big. She knows what it is. What is it?
I know it's like an N, but I can't remember.
Neo. Say neo. Neoplasticism. Very good. That's a very, very specific type of artwork that he created. So basically, he was like, I have this whole new way of doing art that nobody else is doing, so I'm going to call it whatever I want to call it. So he called it neoplasticism. Isn't that funny? Have you ever thought of something that you've had before and you're like, I don't know what to name this, so I'm just going to make up my own name? That's kind of what Piet Mondrian did. So let's go over a few questions. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to review just a little bit for about 5 minutes, maybe 4, okay? Then we are going to exercise. Remember how I told you before that we're going to be standing up and practicing? We're going to move our bodies to learn how to do different types of lines. Because what kind of art did he do? It was abstract, but what did he use?
Lines.
Lots and lots of lines. So we're going to talk about the different types of lines that we can use today in our abstract artwork. Okay, so did he always paint? Did Mondrian always paint in an abstract way? We talked a little bit about that last week. Did he always paint like these examples up here?
Who is no? What is no?
What is no?
Jeopardy.
Are you playing Jeopardy now? I don't watch that. I don't know how to play Jeopardy. I'm sorry. Okay, so he actually started with landscapes. Do you remember how we talked about he wanted to show everybody and show himself that he could actually paint realistically. So remember, he lived in the Netherlands, and so what kind of things did he paint when he was outside with his easel and his oils? Landscapes, lots of landscapes. He also painted windmills, yes, because he was in the Netherlands, which lots and lots of windmills there. He also painted buildings, okay? So what he did is he started with actual real things that he painted. And then he started discovering if he squint his eyes enough. Have you guys ever squint your eyes and looked at something in the distance? Look at, what do we have in the classroom? There's not any landscapes in here. So what he would do is he would squint his eyes and he would start breaking down all of the landscapes and the buildings and the windmills into shapes, basic shapes. So he simplified it. Do you guys know what simplify means? What does simplify mean? Shelby, tell me simplify. What would you use like simplify in a sentence? Like how would you say that? Simple. Think about simple. What does simple mean? Simple is easy, right? It's easy. It's like he would just take something that was really complicated and detailed. He would squint his eyes and he would break it down into lines and shapes. So that's how he discovered dun, 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 neoplasticism. So he just kind of came up with that name, right? Now what kind of shapes did Piet Mondrian use? What kind of shapes did he use?
Lines.
Lines, lots of lines. We'll talk about lines in a minute.
Squares.
Squares and rectangles. Very good. Okay. So, what kinds of shapes are squares and rectangles? Emily, what kinds of shapes are they? Are they organic or are they geometric? Geometric. What is geometric? Avery, what does a geometric shape mean?
It has straight lines.
Yes, it has straight lines and angles, right? Okay, so he did not like triangles very much. I don't know why. If you look at all of his artwork, he didn't get into triangles. He mostly did squares and rectangles. So look at the shapes that are on your tray today. Squares and rectangles and lines, okay? So those are the shapes that we're going to use to create that same type of art that Piet Mondrian did, okay? Now, here's another thing I'm going to ask you. What type of colors did Piet Mondrian use? Primary, okay? So everybody, let's see if we'll get this in order. Let's say the primary colors together on the count of 3, because you all know what they are, right? Primary colors are the first colors that you need to create any other color in the world. So on the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Red, yellow, and blue.
Isn't that funny? You all said it in the same order. Awesome. Red, yellow, and blue. Okay. What kind of lines, or what color of lines did he use? Black. Okay. All different types of lines. Okay. So what we're going to do is everyone push your chairs in. Everyone push your chairs in. And stand up. This is where we're going to do our exercises. Are you ready? And you can, you don't have to move except just stand where you're at. Can you kind of hobble?
Yeah.
We have an injured student today.
Let's all hobble.
Okay, you're so sweet to help her. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to talk about a very specific line called vertical lines. Okay, so look at you, you're already getting ready. What is the first letter of the word vertical?
V.
V, right? Okay, so show me your V with your arms. Okay, so here's how we're going to remember vertical. Vertical. Okay? Vertical. V is the first letter in the word vertical. So you're going to, a vertical line is from the top to the bottom, from the tippy top of your fingers all the way down to the floor. Straight up and down. Ready? Do it together. Vertical. Awesome. Okay. Now, here's another easy one. You guys know this one already? This is called a horizontal line. Okay, so here's horizontal. All right, so if you have the letter H, for instance, here's a little trick that I learned. If you have the letter H, a capital H, okay, here's the two lines on either side, the vertical lines on the capital H. What connects those two lines? A horizontal line, right? If you don't have a horizontal line holding those two lines together, it's going to fall over, right? So here's my horizontal line. Okay, so this line is what we're focusing on because H, horizontal, horizontal, okay? So this line right here is going to connect these two vertical lines, and you're going to show me by putting your arms out this way. Don't hurt your friends. Stretch out. Okay, you ready? This is fun. I like to do this. You can bust a move as much as you want. Ready? Horizontal. Horizontal. Okay, I know it's weird. It's okay. It'll help us, really. Okay, so the next one, you guys are getting good at this. All right, perpendicular. Okay, perpendicular. That's a very hard word to say. Look at you, that you took away my idea. Okay, perpendicular, very good. Okay, so how I remember perpendicular is plus, right? You guys know what a plus sign is, right? Those are two lines that intersect, or they go through each other. So you have a horizontal line and a vertical line that are crashing through each other. Okay,
Or
just like an intersection. Yes, or an X at times, or a plus, whichever. But today we're going to be doing a plus. So, this is fun. You ready? Plus. Perpendicular plus. Perpendicular plus. Everybody say perpendicular first. That's hard. Perpendicular. That's a 5-syllable word. Perpendicular. Say it together. Ready?
Perpendicular.
Very good. Okay, so perpendicular plus. Very good. Okay, so the next one is we're going to do a diagonal line.
Oh no.
I know. You ready for this? Okay, how many of you guys have ever swam at a swimming pool before? Everybody? Right? Okay. So, how many of you stood on the edge of a swimming pool and you fell over? Oh my gosh, have you done that? It's so much fun. Have you done that? Where you fall backwards and you're like, oh, or you fall sideways? Have you done that?
I think I did it.
Or forward? You like to do a face plant in the water? So I like to fall sideways, except you get water in your ears sometimes. But if you're vertical and you start leaning over in the pool and then you fall in, a diagonal line or an angular line is a vertical line that's falling over. Okay, so let's do an angular line or a vertical line standing up. We're going to fall over. Don't fall on the concrete. Ready? And go.
Hi, Shel.
Very good. Hello. Okay, so the next one, the last one before we move on, we're going to do parallel lines. Okay? You guys know what parallel lines are? Those are lines that are two side by side. They don't have to be just two, they can be a million lines, but as long as they're side by side. They can be vertical or they can be horizontal. Okay? And we're going to use a lot of parallel lines in our artwork today. So I want you to find a partner.
I shall see.
I just say this is somebody you're with, okay? Sisters, there you go. All right, find a partner. I don't have a partner. It's okay. All
I'll
right.
be your partner.
You want? Well, then she won't have one. Okay, so let's face back to back to your partner. Back to back to your partner. Okay, turn around.
Are we back to back, Shelby?
Are we back to back? Okay. We're gonna say parallel partner. When I say partner, turn around and face each other. Ready? Parallel partner. Hello, partner. Hello. So you guys are parallel to each other. Okay? All right. Now we're going to take a test. Are you ready? We're going to try this. I'm just going to call some out and see how much you guys remember. All right. The vertical. Show me. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Vertical.
Woohoo! Okay. Let's see. Horizontal. 1, 2, 3.
Horizontal.
Oh, what just happened? Oh, okay. Let's try again. Ready?
Horizontal.
That's my favorite one. You forgot that one. Okay. Let's do let's do perpendicular. Ready? Perpendicular plus. 1, 2, 3.
Perpendicular plus.
Okay, let's try again. Okay, perpendicular plus. 1, 2, 3.
Perpendicular plus.
Very good. Okay, so now let's try partners. Parallel, partner. Ready? Go. Don't hurt each other. Okay, parallel partner. 1, 2, 3.
Parallel partner.
Hello. Okay, awesome. Good job. Give yourselves a hand. Woo-hoo. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are going to come and you are going to help me put together my masterpiece that you are eventually going to create today. Okay? So what I'm going to do is show you some different ideas, and you guys, I'm going to ask you for your help, and we're going to talk about 3 things. Okay? We're going to talk about layering, we're going to talk about arranging, and we're going to talk about rearranging. Okay? And we'll talk about what those words mean. You guys already know what those words mean? Okay. So, I want you to come over here to the demonstration table. You're French today. Yes. Okay. So, you guys are going to help me with my masterpiece. So I want everybody to come up to a place where you can reach. Can you guys come around this way?
How about we go?
In a sentence, somebody. Use the word arrange in a sentence.
I arrange the sticks or something.
The sticks, okay. What about furniture? Have you guys ever arranged your furniture before with your parents?
Yes.
Have you ever moved your doll furniture around? Have you ever moved your...
Yeah.
Yes, no?
I've never done that.
Have you ever done a floral arrangement? Have you ever arranged flowers, like for Mother's Day? And you're like, ooh, I don't like this. I want to take this flower and arrange it over here. I want to take this flower and arrange it over there. You guys got to get to arranging, okay? So we're going to practice arranging today. That means we're going to decide on moving different pieces around until it's to our satisfaction, until we think, voila, that is it, okay? Now, what does rearrange mean? The only difference is there's a re in front of arrange. What's rearrange? There you go. Re is repeat. So we're not going to just glue straight away. We're going to rearrange, okay? Now, let's talk about layer, because in abstract artwork that Piet Mondrian did, he did a lot of layering of his artwork, okay? A lot of layering of his shapes and his pieces. So, tell me, let's see, Avery, use the word layer in a sentence. Can you tell me, describe to me what layer is to you? Am I putting you on the spot? I'm sorry. Okay, so let's talk about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Should we do that?
No.
Okay. So if you are eating or you're making a peanut butter, how many of you have made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? You don't make your moms do it all the time, right? Okay, good. So what we're going to do is talk about layering using peanut butter and jelly. So what do I have first?
Bread.
Bread, all right? Then I take my knife and scoop it in the what? What are we going to do first?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Spread it on top. That's layering. I'm layering the peanut butter on top of the bread. Then I scoop another whatever. What am I doing?
Jelly.
Layer that. Then how do we finish the sandwich off? What do we
Bread.
need?
Another
Bread.
bread.
Okay, so you have bread, peanut butter, jelly, bread. I just layered a sandwich. Okay, so you're going to layer shapes in your artwork. Don't eat your hand. Okay. All right, so you guys are going to help me. I'm going to call on you. Ready? Get your fingers warmed up. Our bodies are already warmed up. Okay. So, Shelby, since you're standing right there, give me 2 parallel lines and place them on my blank canvas any way that you want. They can be horizontal, they can be vertical. 2 parallel lines. Those are perpendicular. Close. Very good. Remember, parallel, partner. Parallel, partner. Right? Awesome. Okay. Now, Emily, give me a horizontal line somewhere on my artwork. Here. Now show me a horizontal line. Can I do my dance again?
No.
No, you don't like it? Okay. Awesome. Okay. So, Lillian, I want you to show me a diagonal line. Awesome. Now, is this line the same width as the other lines that are on here? It's wider, isn't it? And that's okay. You'll have lots of different choices. Okay. Haley, I want you to put down...
That's a triangle.
Yes, very good. I want you to put down a primary color square. So that's pretty much any of them, right? Wherever you want, okay? I want you to put down a large primary square, large primary colored square, any one of your choice. And if you look at the piles on your table, you all have different sizes. You've got large, medium, small. You have rectangles, squares, lots to do and lots to experiment with, okay? Okay, so watch this. After I'm finished, I arranged this. You guys help me arrange it, right? Oh my gosh. I know, right? Guess what I get to do again? Rearrange. Okay, so I'm going to put this down, and Karis, you're going to layer. You're going to layer 2 shapes on top of my shape that I've already put. Okay? See the possibilities? Isn't that awesome? So I want you to make sure that you just use all of the lines that we talked about, as many as possible. Use horizontal, vertical, diagonal. I want you to stack and layer your shapes as well, okay? Okay, so let's go ahead and go to our papers now. Before we get started, remember, no gluing commitment yet. We're not going to make a commitment of gluing. All we're going to do is arrange and decide if we like it or not, scoop it off, change it around, rearrange, and then we'll be ready to glue, okay? Because I want you guys to see the possibilities of all the different options that you have to create your masterpiece. Okay? All right, get started. Masterpiece. Take a look at it, take a snapshot in your brain of what it looks like, because we're going to knock most of those off and rearrange again. And then I thought we would get some more exercises. You're like, no, we're going to take an art walk. We haven't done that in a long time. So I'd like for us to take an art walk after a few more minutes, just so we can kind of get some ideas of what other people are creating. The thing I love about this project the most is there's so much freedom. What do you guys think so far?
I like it.
I've never heard you be so quiet before. You're concentrating big time, aren't you? Because it's just so freeing, right? There's no right or wrong. You guys can arrange it however you
Does all the
want.
white space have to come?
No, absolutely not. If you look at this one, in fact, I'll show you a couple of visuals from Piet Mondrian's images of his artwork. We did that a little bit last week, but as you're working, that's a good idea. I'll go ahead and show you Okay, do you remember how we were talking? Everybody look over here for just a second. I just want to get your attention for 1 second. Do you see this? This is one of his paintings that he did of a tree in his backyard. Now this is early on in his career. Now, look what happens when he broke it down into shapes and lines. Do you see that? How we were talking about how he squinted his eyes and he was able to take that tree and shove it into very specific shapes and lines. So look at it again. Leaning tree, lots of swaying branches that are heavy. Can you see that? And then this is what he came up with about 10 years later. Okay. So, and then after that, he started making stuff like this. So he simplified it even more and more. Every time he decided to do a piece of artwork, he simplified it. He made it easier and more condensed. Cool.
Thanks.
I like how you're layering shapes on top of your lines. That's a good idea. Now, if you look at Piet Mondrian's work, he actually didn't have that many diagonal lines. Remember the leaning lines, the angular lines that we talked about? He didn't have very many of those in his works of art. That doesn't mean that you can't do it today. You can put as many angular lines as you want. But if you look at his artwork, like we did last week, and I'll show you some more later, you'll see that there's not very many that are angular or diagonal. There's a lot of perpendicular, there's a lot of horizontal, a lot of vertical lines. Wow, these are awesome, guys.
I know.
Oh. So Emily is almost making, she's almost making something that looks identifiable. Remember how we talked about abstract work is unidentifiable? It's whatever you see it to be. When I look at Emily's, it looks like a robot. I'm just being honest. I love it. But it's starting to turn into something. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're building something with Legos and it's turning into something. Did you intend for that to happen? Or is it just kind of happen?
It looks like you're looking over a bunch of buildings.
It does. Like you're looking from a bird's eye view. I can see that. Wow, Haley, that's awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the last piece down. Remember, we're going to rearrange. We're going to change our minds here in a little bit just to get us some other ideas. Because who knows, you might come up with something even more amazing than you did the first time. So everybody push your chairs in, and we're going to take an art walk. Let's go clockwise. Let's go clockwise and take a look at everybody's works of art.